You're listening to Women in Wellness, a program to help you create gorgeous growth for your blissful business in health and wellness. I'm Dr. Gabby, holistic health expert and founder of Women in Wellness, a one-of-a-kind course and community designed to empower and inform you about how to build a purposeful and profitable holistic business. I am so excited that my amazing guest, Fern Olivia Langham, is joining us today. Fern's the founder of Thyroid Yoga and a Los Angeles-based instructor and wellness expert, renowned for her artful approach to self-healing. Fern combines her extensive knowledge of yoga, meditation, breathwork, mantra, holistic health, and plant-based alchemy into a one-of-a-kind integrative approach. Hello.
Hello, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for that warm and wonderful introduction. I am so happy to be here, and it's such a joy to be talking to you and to inspire this community of amazing people. So.
Yeah, this is very exciting because what I love about your work is it's so creative and innovative and integrative, right? So you've taken a personal challenge that you've had, you've transformed yourself, you found tools you needed to heal, you're sharing them with others. Can you give us a little bit of the background and how that happened?
Absolutely. So I was, right now, let's just forward to where I am and then we'll take you back. So right now I'm sitting in the Cayman Islands planning a retreat that I'm leading in 2017. And it seems glamorous, it seems wonderful, and it is, but only about 3-4 years ago, I was sitting in a cubicle in financial institutions, working in banks in New York. And I was really sick in my body. And if you told me that I'd be sitting here now and this would be my full-time job, I would think you're crazy. I was literally staring at spreadsheets all day and, on conference calls with traders and development teams and kind of trying to feed the flesh, extinguish all the fires and really work to manage people's, all their arguments. And I was just stressed beyond belief. And I wasn't doing the creative work that I was meant to do. I was really sick in my body. I have a condition called Hashimoto's hypothyroidism, which is an autoimmune form of the thyroid, the underactive thyroid. And I was so miserable in my body. I was gaining all this weight. I was feeling congested all the time. I was always getting sick. And I didn't really know how to take care of myself. And I fell in love with yoga on a lunch break. I was, just walking around the neighborhood and
Wait, you fell in love with yoga on a lunch break?
I was sneaking out of work because I was working 14-hour days. And I said, I don't want to just bring food back to my desk. It's unhealthy. Everyone was doing that. And, I just knew that I had to escape for a little bit, and getting fresh air wasn't enough in New York. It's really hard to find fresh air. So I was like, okay, let's see what this yoga thing is about. There's a studio down the street. I walked in. I fell in love with the teacher. She made me feel nurtured and at home. For the first time in my life, I felt safe, and I never felt unsafe, but I had felt like I had this place to be myself. That's what I mean by safe. It was just, I could just let go of, the titles at work and, what I needed to do.
Spreadsheets and the arguments.
just breathe. And I found home in that. And soon after, I realized I wanted to be a teacher. And I knew in my heart that I've always been a healer, but I always thought that in order to be successful, you need to have a career like a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer. That was always what my parents said that I had to do. So when I found yoga and thought, wow, I could actually do this. This could be a career. I saw that my teacher, I looked up to her as my role model. I saw that she had a health coaching practice. She went to IIN. She was a spiritual life coach, yoga teacher. She basically had it all. She was working a lot, but so was I, but she was really doing it as a woman in the field. And I felt really inspired by her. And so I did my teacher training with her. And then very soon after, during the training, I already had private clients. I was already rocking it. And it was my dharma. I knew that I had to do this. And right after the training, I said, okay, I'm going to quit this job as soon as I can.
Where did you get the confidence though? You were like, I went to class, I'm in. Where are you? Are you just a naturally kind of confident person?
I mean, I just knew in my heart that I had to help people, and yoga was healing my body. And I was so confident in the power of yoga to heal, and the power of meditation and essential oils and holistic health. Like, it was healing me. It was like a miracle. It was nothing. The doctors, I was going doctor to doctor to doctor. They were just giving me Band-Aids. So I was like, well, this practice is amazing. I have no choice. I have to share it. Like, it was basically like this is not my choice right now. This is my life path, and I will be successful. And I wasn't even worried about the 6-figure salary that I was leaving behind when I decided to quit. It took me about 4 years to quit my corporate job. But as I did that, I went to IAN, I did my teacher training. I led about 15 retreats while I was working my full-time job. So I was traveling to Puerto Rico and to all these different countries and, states, and just putting my BlackBerry on away. And I would pretend that I was working or had a meeting, and I was teaching retreats.
Amazing.
And
nice.
I made sure that I was, doing my work at my job, getting promoted and doing all that. But at the same time, I was just really doing my work in the world and teaching private clients and corporate and, as much as I could. So then when I was able to have a wait list of clients, it got so busy that I was like, I just got to quit this job. It's not for me. And I know that it's actually holding me back. So my advice to people that are looking to do this is, first and foremost, don't kill yourself doing it. I mean, I worked like 20-hour days. I didn't sleep much. And I mean, it's true as an entrepreneur that you're going to have to make sacrifices at first about sleep, about money, things like that. But really, you have to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you're going to burn out. So for me, I actually can handle a lot. I know my nervous system is strong. I'm very fast at processing things. I happen really quickly. It's just something in my nature. But I do have to say that one thing that I did do wrong in that was that I just was always in the mode of doing, that for some of the time I didn't know my end result, like where I saw myself in my career. So I was just doing everything because I thought that I had to do everything in order to be successful. It wasn't until very recently where I said, I'm going to narrow down what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be business coaching clients and teaching prenatal yoga and teaching stressed out corporate men and, health coaching the stressed out person that needs to leave sugar. Like I had to I was doing everything. And I said, I'm going to focus on one niche, and that's going to be the thyroid and hormone health. And from there, I created Thyroid Yoga, which is my practice now, which is amazing. It's been so successful. Now I train teachers and coaches on how to be a thyroid yoga practitioner. And then also, in addition to that, I created my own beauty brand. And the beauty brand is in sync with my whole mission with thyroid yoga on beauty starts within. So when you are living your creative truth and you're treating yourself with luxury and harmony, and you're really paying attention to the choices that you're making for yourself, that you embody this attractive magnet, that you're using your voice in a powerful way, you're speaking from your navel center, from your heart, and you're treating yourself with love and compassion and respect. So that's in a nutshell how this all found me, and it's all based on my own journey. So once you're living in that authentic truth, you start to really focus, and you're not like all doing everything. Because the thing is that a lot of new entrepreneurs think is that in order to be successful, you have to be doing it all. But the thing is, that's going to make you the jack of many trades and not the master of one. So no one's going to know what you're doing. They're going to be like, oh my God, like, I don't know what this person's doing. They're doing everything. And then you're going to be so stressed because you can't in this world. You have to and then bring other people in that you can collaborate with and partner with. They can handle the other facets of things, and then you'll be really powerful. And that's
I mean, your story is so fascinating for me on multiple levels, but like on a fundamental level, going from finance to yoga, it seems like a huge shift. And a lot of the women in the healing community, they struggle with issues around money, around finance. They have trouble charging. They have trouble charging what they're worth or managing the money. And I'm wondering, did you carry forward any of those money management spreadsheet skills once you started working in the holistic, or was it just like out the window and like, did everything change?
I mean, I'm very tech savvy, so I can manage all my systems. I hire people now to do that, but because it's not where I find the best use of my time and skills. I mean, I studied biomedical engineering in college, so I come from a very analytical, linear background where I have to be good at math and I have to be good at spreadsheets and stuff and formulas. I still create my own Google Sheets for my teacher training program, and I keep track of money through that. But I mean, I think it's just a skill that I have. And I think to be a good business person, you really, really do need to stay organized. That's a very important thing. You have to have the infrastructure in place. And if you're not organized, that's okay. Like, I'm not organized. I can be organized, but intrinsically I'm not. So I hire staff in a team to help keep me organized. And that's very, very important.
That's amazing. So for the teacher training that you developed, did you develop that as something as like the first 200 hours that someone should do? Or is it something that's like a specialty on top of, a training, a basic training that they already have in like vinyasa or hatha or something?
Yeah. So it is open to everyone. So if you have a thyroid condition and you just want to deepen your knowledge of the thyroid and how to really integrate all these different approaches: Ayurveda, functional medicine, yoga, pranayama, meditation, mantra, essential oils, Akashic record, shamanic healing, there's so many, and I talk about all of them. And if you just want to really understand your total health and how to be your own advocate for health and healing, this training is for you. It is also for teachers, wellness practitioners, healers of any trade. You don't have to be a yoga teacher. You can be a Reiki master. You can be a massage therapist. You can be a health coach. You can be a nutritionist, whatever it is. And add on that you're a thyroid yoga certified practitioner to your resume and offer these programs. And what I'm going to empower you to do is make your own programs. It doesn't have to be what I've done. Honestly, I want you to just really go with the information and take it and take all of these teachings and apply it to your own health and then to the health of the world, because the world needs you. The world needs you to step up. The world needs you to be creative. And it's not, you're not going to steal from any ideas, because the truth is that all of these lineages exist for you to use them. So, I use Kundalini yoga, Katona yoga, pranayama, functional medicine, Ayurveda, all these things exist. I'm just teaching you how to apply them to the thyroid, the adrenals, the lymphatic system, to really integrate this into a holistic approach that you can work with doctors, and doctors are going to seek you out as a thyroid yoga certified practitioner, because now I'm working with a lot of the top medical doctors in their respective fields, and they're going to look out for you. And I'm going to say, here's my group of thyroid yoga trainers across the world. I'm going to have this listing of everyone. And I can send you out and say, hey, I need a thyroid yoga teacher to teach this retreat for me, because they asked me to teach it and I already have one this date. Or, here, this university needs someone to come in and talk about thyroid health. Would you want to do it? So having this group of teachers to go out in the world and teach this is really exciting to me. So you don't have to be a yoga teacher. You don't have to be a wellness coach. You just have to be concerned about, the health of your own body and the health of the world.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned being involved in a lot of different things and being kind of fragmented, like some stress management stuff and some diet stuff and some like all over the place. And then you got really clear and you kind of picked a specific thing. So how do you do that? Like right before I had this interview with you, I was talking to someone and she was saying the same thing. I'm a little bit interested in this and a little bit interested in that. And I kind of like this and I get paid for that. And so is there, how would someone know that they wanted to focus on this? Or how do you kind of get clarity about that specific niche?
Yeah. So find out what you would do even if you weren't getting paid, right? Like, because sometimes we say, oh, well, I'm getting paid for this thing. It's not really what I'm going to do, but I'm getting paid for it. So I'm going to focus energy there. That's an energy leak. Like sometimes you don't see it until you're someone like me that I can say, listen, I did this and trust me, you need to focus. Trust me. Because I was all over the place. When I moved to LA from New York last year, I literally tried everything because I just wanted to make money in a new city. I didn't have my client base yet. I was just like, all right, let me do this thing called a moon ceremony. And let's also teach entrepreneurs, and let's also try to teach some yoga classes. And I literally I didn't have any time to actually build the brand and build thyroid yoga to what it is now. So trust me, you don't want to scatter yourself because that's creating an energy leak. So figure out what you truly would do if money were not an option. And I do understand, because for a while I wasn't making any money. Right. And I still bought the food that I needed to nourish my body. So I can't say that, a lot of people are like, oh, I was eating PB&J for weeks. No, I didn't eat PB&J for weeks. I put debt on my credit card so I could shop at the expensive, farmers markets and holistic health stores and things like that. I never cheaped on my health. So you will sometimes have to put money on a credit card or take out a business loan or ask your family for money or get an investor, or just figure it out. Do what really feeds your soul, because I promise you that when you do that, people will notice that you're working from your heart and not just working on something that's going to create money for you. You can look at the trends all you want and see that weight loss is like the number one money maker. But if you're not really embodying that you want to do that for something from your heart, then people are going to see that. Trust me. Like, I know so many coaches that just do a certain modality because they know that that's where the money is. But people are not dumb. They're going to see that, and eventually you're not going to feel inspired. And that's going to create stress in your body, because then you'll be like, well, I really want to do this, but now I created this, and how the heck do I change?
How do I get out of this now?
Or do what feels right. I understand sometimes that's not where the money is at first, but people are going to be attracted to you and your energy. And that is where you'll just create this circle around you of support, and that you will generate money. I promise you, live from your heart, work from your heart, work from, speaking creatively. That's the antidote to suffering, is to really create something that is going to serve the world. That's where all of the, the joy comes from.
And, I love this idea of like following your heart, listening to your heart. I talk with a lot of the women in the community about their personal story and the motivation that got them into this in the first place. Like for you, a lot of it was around thyroid. How important do you think it is that your personal story is connected to the work you're doing, or that you have a personal experience that you draw on for the work that you're doing? Do you think that's important?
Very important. It's everything, because, people are going to ask, why are you doing this? And it can't, like I mentioned, it can't just be for money. Because if I were in this for money, I wouldn't, I would be doing something else. Or, I would have stayed in finance, but, you really have to go with what is going to drive you. Because if you don't feel like spending late hours on your computer, like creating these programs or whatever you're doing for your business, you're not going to put your heart in. I can tell you, I did so many projects and different business partnerships with friends, dear friends. And I would work on these projects together, and my heart wasn't in it. So it sucked to do these things on a to-do list because I wasn't in it. It was driven I thought it would be a great money-making opportunity. You really have to have some sort of connection to it. I always had thyroid yoga in my heart. I always wanted to create that from the start of. That's what got me to my yoga mat. So even when I was working on other projects with other dear friends and business partners, and I wasn't working on thyroid yoga, I was literally shutting my voice. And, when something's part of your story, you'll start to uncover more about yourself on the way, and it'll be an amazing self-growth opportunity. It's the best. It's the best.
Yay. Okay. So if the listeners want to do the thyroid yoga training with you, where, how, when, what, give us the details.
I would love for you to be a part of it. So easy breezy. You can do two options. The first one is come to LA November 3rd through 6th. And it is a 4-day, 35-hour intensive training. Everything will be recorded as well. So if you're part of the training, you have all of the recordings, you have a teacher training binder, you will receive lots of in-person guidance. Amazing. I understand if you're not in LA and can't make it to LA, that's cool too. It's all recorded live streaming. So as we're sitting in the room, you'll be up on Zoom. We'll see you, you'll see us, and everything's recorded. So if you're, in a different time zone, then you can watch it at your leisure. And at the end of the 4 days, I'm going to give you some time to digest the information, because I want you to be able to watch it and revisit it and, take notes if you're not taking notes in the class, which is fine. Give you a couple weeks, and then there's going to be an essay. Not really a test. It's more just like an essay assignment and you hand that in to me, and I'm going to read your answers and certify you as a thyroid yoga practitioner. So it's basically to see that I don't do multiple choice. I want you to use your voice and your mind to tell me a story, and I want to understand everything about you and what you're doing to create a ripple effect in the world, whether it's in your own health, the health of your family, your health of your community, and just simple questions. If I'm going to pretend I'm a client and I have extreme bloating and digestive pain and I feel unfulfilled in my life, where do we start together? And you're going to pretend that you're a coach in this field and you're a certified yoga coach. How would you lead me through my first session? So I'm going to have questions like that, and then integrate. I have a bunch of different teachers in the thyroid yoga training. Some are teaching Ayurveda, anatomy of the thyroid and the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, and all these cool modalities. So just to make sure that you've watched them and you paid attention, there's going to be some questions on, okay, like how would you apply this lecture if I'm a client with this condition? And you'll go through and you'll write a little scenario for me. So that test you'll hand in more like an essay, not really a test. I'm not testing you. I just want to learn about you. And because the reason
I'm a teacher and I give tests, so that doesn't bother me.
Tests to make some people nervous, but the reason I'm doing that is because ultimately I'm going to have a list of thyroid yoga practitioners. There are about 20 students right now taking the training from all over the world, and I'm going to have a database, and you're all going to have your profiles on my website. So, when someone comes in to me and says, hey, Fern, can you teach this or can you do this? And I say, no, I'm busy, but I have this great individual. She lives in Texas, and I would love for her to fly out and do the speaking thing, or to be part of your retreat, or to write a blog post for you, or whatever it is. And that way I have this amazing tribe of teachers, and you're all going out doing the work you want in the world, and you're a thyroid yoga practitioner and can take this knowledge and run with it. So
nice. And how do they find this? This is on your website?
Yeah, it's at thyroid.yoga. So www.thyroid.yoga, and the link is right there, nice and big. So it says become a thyroid yoga practitioner, and you say yes, and we start this remarkable journey together. And I'm here for you to support you in your career, and you'll be joined by a lot of other amazing people that you can even partner with and do cool things with. So I'm really, really excited for this.
I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
All right, so thyroid.yoga, that's where they can find you and find the training, and it's starting next month. So awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us and telling us all this cool stuff.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You're so welcome. And yeah, the bottom line is do what feels authentic for you, and you will succeed. And don't worry so much about, the financials of it, because it's gonna come. It will. You just have to focus. Please focus.
Amen. Woo!
Amen.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. You can join the Women in Wellness Club at women-in-wellness.com.